the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Now, the struggle between Ghana's legislative arm of government, that is the parliament, and after Ghana's judicial arm of government, that is the Supreme Court, continues unabated. The Nipa, all this are maintained when one say any pinch would dear nimu now a gang leader, Speaker of Parliament Alban Semana Kingsford Bagbin. Alban Bagbin person actually said, only 2 minutes kitano no obian to be in Kasema name for Nyejuma. Which is not so. What would you not to me to declare some seat vacant? Ewa Ghana Mashibijo. Every year, Emma the status quo as a sign. Emma NDC be majority, my MPP be minority. The Honorable Alexander Fenyomake, ably supported by Attorney General Godfrey Yeboadame, at the Assembly Supreme Court for interpretation of certain articles in the Constitution. Now, at the first sitting, Supreme Court ruling said, and among our Alban Bagbin 2 years, interpretation of the various articles in the Constitution, those MPs, you can't declare their seat vacant. And things should return to normalcy. Bagbin Antiasi. And also on one Kasane lawyer Tadio sorry. Ma was Sandy Assembly Court to be. Ye telecast BBR life, Emma Ghana and Ibia Nyabihe. At the end of the day, Supreme Court reaffirmed the decision said, and among Bagbin 2 years, several arguments were raised by lawyer Tadio Sorry, representing Alban Semana Kingsford Bagbin. Emma, able judges sitting on the Supreme Court bench, led by the Chief Justice herself, Yamame Gatu to come. Exam rasu yini nyina no ma chese obia asumu adwo no fine obia komato ne ye because mbra na ye adwuma wo ho enani ehwe animu se nka Alban Bagbin ba ma hye bedwam oba na wa ba be kirim se Supreme Court, who is the final decision taker with respect to interpretation of the Constitution, alebe the fact as according to mra enunti things should return to normalcy. Alban Semana Kingsford Bagbin betransia wanka bibia sa they won was agenda parliament senator. And a majority leader, the Honorable Alexander Fenyomake Chirimwa, even his lawyer Tadio Sorry, a very, very shocked with respect to a decision Alban Bagbin taking because Supreme Court, the highest decision-making body in terms of interpretation of articles in the Constitution, has made everything so simple. What the ruling about Bontin, the DNT and a client, Alban SK Bagbin, ya wo jina ne naso don huri bebrebe ewo court e defending on Supreme Court ruling aban empese what the ruling ni betudwa. The other series of revelations ya majority leader the Honorable Alexander Fenyomake nti ebeko na ekotiria
embra na ye disuniti jambeka se ntia no na ye expect se nde or the court assembly ye dwuma and then put there obi ano ane lawyer akọ court no wanka court ho asem kra wan kase wakọ court ama wedi nkuguo aninti no and then nuanum nyina wa ha dia ye be se ye kan se ye be di mbra so ye ntumirika eni ne omo nkoko ntokwa NDC for there omo bibia ye ntokwa omo bibia ni ntokwa so omo di enyoma be sai wo Ghana na Ghana aya basabasa ye de ye dwen omanu ye ma bibi sense ye da mo to the NDC lawyer to the speaker's lawyer who had received firm instructions from the speaker. The position of the speaker was home and dry, was on all fours right, and that Mr. Speaker had ruled and that those members could not come to Parliament. Again, he had emphasized that the right forum was the High Court. Yes. All these points canvassed by Mr. Speaker's lawyer were overruled. The matter was heard in the full glare of the public. There was a live broadcast of the Supreme Court proceedings of that day. The ruling of the Supreme Court has been procured by me as plaintiff. The Supreme Court bailiff has served the ruling, the second ruling, on Mr. Speaker. His lawyers were given up to 6th of November to file their written submissions, statements of case in defense, if any. So what are all these, perhaps I call it ex cathedra statement of speaker, creating an impression as though those statements he's making are an authority on their own. It cannot be. A true Democrat will respect the rule of law.
Yes.
And that is why we decided to respect him. You know, ladies and gentlemen of the press, NPP, our tradition is to respect rule of law. Yes. It's out of deference to Mr. Speaker. That is why we did not enter the chamber. That we should share in that chaos theater with them. Never.
We won't do that.
We will not. MPP will not. We will not. Therefore, don't be swayed by their lies and their propaganda. The chaos they started is what they want to end. We will not allow that. We believe that we have to win the elections right at the polling station and would go and work. Right now, what the NDC has done, basically, are the following. One, they don't want Ghanaians to receive their pay, public servants, because they know that after the elections, there will be no budget. And to be able to pay Ghanaian workers, there will be the need for parliamentary approval of the budget first quarter. That would be on account, appropriation on account. That's it's a constitutional requirement. So that is what they want. They want to stampede it. Two, they want to again create a certain impression that Ghana is lawless. Ghana is not lawless. We will not allow them to give a wrong impression to the international community. We will respect the law. Three, all these businessmen, you know, their fear is that under the 1D, 1F, these companies are going to create jobs. These companies will employ people. So their fear is that should these be addressed, it will mean that all their propaganda of unemployment would fall flat. So further to frustrate businessmen and drive them away. Are these Democrats?
No.
Now there are important things to do. We have the free sh0cks bill, which is before Parliament. Their main aim is to conspire with Mr. Speaker to prevent the free sh0cks bill from being passed. And in an unlikely situation where they see the light of day in the election, cancel it. That, oh, after all, there's no law backing it. Their main target is the free sh0cks bill. That is why there was a pre-announcement of its laying in Parliament, and you remember how they fought against it. So it's an opportunity for them to, as it were, prevent the free sh0cks bill from being passed. And if they succeed in doing that, to them, in their wishful minds, in their wishful thinking, parents will get upset and then say that after all, the free sh0cks was not working. The free sh0cks has benefited many Ghanaians in spite of the challenges. We know as a country the reforms that have been made by two ministers, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh and Dr. Yao Educhum. These two gentlemen who were assigned to superintend over the education ministry have done so well. And the outcome of their works is known to all Ghanaians. This is what the NDC want to set back. Thank you very much indeed. I would want... Okay. Now, they also made some noise in the chamber. They also made, you know, they double talk. They double talk. They do double speaking, double talking. Whenever a person lies, he fails to even be inconsistent. In the chamber, where they rushed to go and sit, and again, The clerk this morning, we pre-inspected the chamber. The clerk diligently arranged our name tags at where they were. They came and they physically removed them. And this is where, with the greatest respect and in all humility and no modesty, my dear friends in the media, help us to shape opinion in the right way.
Get the message across properly.
Get the message across. They came in there and unlawfully removed our name tags, pulled their chairs to our place and sat on our seats. And Speaker, the cameras, I was watching in my office, and I'm sure you guys are set up. You set your cameras up proud to Mr. Speaker's arrival. You saw what happened. Let the Ghanaian people know. Now they said our members were not present. They claim that those, if indeed the Supreme Court had ruled, why were those members who were affected not in the chamber? Because Mr. Speaker has said nothing about them. This is what Kwame Agboja, making that point. Honorable Kwame Agboja said the members have had a favorable ruling from the Supreme Court, so they should have come. Really, if the Supreme Court ruling is being respected by them, why did they move to the right of Mr. Speaker? My respected colleague Cynthia Morrison is here. I said it in my plaint in court that she remains a member of our caucus, and she's here with us as a majority caucus. Nothing short of that. So I would want you to take note. Now, we look forward to engaging Mr. Speaker in the next few hours and days. We pray that he does the needful. If he doesn't do the needful, we will continue to rely on the law to get the right things done.
Which is contempt.
The partisan politics that they are festing on us in the chamber must cease, must end. Parliament is a chamber for decent people. Parliament is a chamber for tolerant Democrats. Parliament is a chamber for people who want nation building without taking advantage of situations to score cheap political points. We will yield to these high values and high tenets of democracy. Thank you very much.
No questions.
Okay. No.
Okay, we'll allow some few questions. Okay.
Majority leader.
Yes.
Majority leader, two things. First,
Who is going to do the tree for her?
there are those who have said that by the conduct of Mr. Speaker, he has gone against the ruling of the Supreme Court, and by his refusal of failure to actually ask the NDC MPs to go back to their minority side, he might be in contempt. Is that that's the view you share?
Yes.
And then lastly, there are those who said that if he's in contempt, that would mean that he has breached his oath of office, and you may even initiate process to impeach him.
Well, let's engage him.
He's right on both.
Let's engage him. Get him to appreciate. Let's get him to appreciate the consequences of not obeying the Supreme Court's decision, and let us also pray that civil society and Ghanaians in general will prevail upon the NDC lawless minority to know that decency is the rule of the game. Thank you very much. She is a member of parliament. Listen. Wait. You see, wait. I will not in any way attack any media house, but I believe that the discourse is a two-way traffic. For instance, I won't mention that station's name, but a station invited me, and when I went for a program, after we had agreed on the issues. They now said to me that a big man from that station says that they should address me as leader of MPP caucus. And I asked that a speaker of parliament has made a pronouncement. Granted, at the first instance, he was right. A superior court has overruled him. So the status quo has been restored. Further, the speaker has challenged the first decision of the court. All right? And that has been adjudicated upon. And it has been determined. So 2 rulings have come out after his ruling, which he calls an opinion. Is there an issue of who is in majority and minority? You, the media, I want to ask you. So I would plead with you, no matter how you feel, let us all help with the law. We all know in the US, in the US, I'm referring the media to something that happened in the US. We all know that CNN leans towards the Democrats. If you watch CNN carefully, you will know that CNN leans towards the Democrats and Fox leans towards the Republican. But as soon as Trump was elected, CNN put all their biases aside and went straight. In fact, they were among the first news, let me finish, to have projected Trump's victory in spite of all their disagreement with Trump's views or political views. You get my point? And I would want to urge on you, the media, to do same. You may not be in support of MPP. I agree. Yenina ya dream to me ya baako. Yenina media yen to me ka say media bi antro dia eye MPP for there. But se court kasa. Me be situation a media be tro say eye Afenyo Markin, leader of MPP group. Afenyo Markin ni MPP for eye majority. And that is the law. Exactly. Mumbua, speaker of Fuma Munka, yes, we are Fuma Munka. Na Ghana Baku Pena Ewo, their NDC for any year, no person Ghana Ejetomo from Roman country as well from on the Sunday Subai. Dear speaker D can ye no. Speaker, their speaker D can ye no. Yan Kunto Kwao. Oka di Oka ye no. Yen didn't attempt. Ye catch and say, Speaker, what dear waka? Ye di courts. Na court ebia asem no court edi kan ebia asem no speaker si on ti ase of a lawyer a lawyer no court e ko kasa ma onu speaker said there be the Supreme Court ka no wafo Supreme Court afom Supreme Court ebudi asem no Ghana nyina hwe TV na Supreme Court aka said there be speaker enye wo tumi na obetumi aka say obi seat we declare vacant eyenyen nti asem no eda yenim asem no so beda ha na wo ya we nti ba ne sen e na ese wo be kasasa speaker lawyer na nkasa ka say speaker ye ruling okoso justify speaker asem o kan e ma ne ka say Supreme Court ko na ye wo no enye wo ne the right forum je say ye ko high court sanse man ne lawyer kan ni na court e den ebogu ye nti dia na ye expect anope ni say speaker eni NDC for no be kasa ka chom say there be baby amote na ye ho na mote e ho no ye edom kase and PP4
yeah for your market omo anu
sa for your market ye omo majority leader omo ekonwa but speaker wan ye sa obetra ho no oye se we hu baby ankrofo ne te ba ni nyina ne se oni omo nyina no omo ye baako omo nyina NDC answer na NDC for be bibi no no ankasa oni no omo nyina adwen ho nti omo nim de omo ye wo be hwe endra press conference oye no press conference oye no wan kasa se ope enkabom ana akroye or attack o mampani or attack judiciary Supreme Court ekeka nsem bebre a yen esanse ye bu no bi nti no yamba respondo say ye tie de oka ye tie but yen MPP for